The most important thing is basically is simple. We're just going to find his hand space. Which I think before you use the third finger now, we're going to use the third or fourth, second finger. Now, we just got his hands. See how his feet are? That's what he's grounded. Now, we just use one big arch. And our rule was on the idea of our feet got to be completely flat. Before we were allowed to lift the head of the shirt so tight that we can't even do that. But that is how we lift the arch. It's going to be that long or he has no big arch. Oh, I get my hand in here. That's probably about a 2-inch arch. The important thing about bench pressing is you want to be grounded here. You want these shoulders and the top of the traps into the bench as much as you possibly can. And right now he's ready, it's all set. Go ahead and take it out. Take it out, take a big breath. Press it up and round. He's all set. You want them feet all jump fucking all over the place. Things of this thing. He uses that hand grip. I believe in training as if you're an experienced lifter, if you're a beginning lifter, I believe in using the whole spectrum of the body. Number one, the narrow we are is going to work the triceps. When we first started lifting, my first week, we weren't permitted to have a lift off. We had to take the bar on ourselves. So consequently, I was what you call a tricep bench, no more than 20 inches in between. That's what the leader bench is like, 20 inches. So I was always cut that, and I think that's why I had to injuries today. Now we're not having small. So when you see fellows like Jim Williams who did 700 pounds, 750, without a shirt, taking it out himself, wow. You know, or a cost, or a Casper, 660, taking it out by himself, no shirts. We were basically tricep bench. So everything has changed since then. But number one, start out, use the whole spectrum of the bar. You know, do close grips, wide grip, or competition grip, and change it all the way around because you want to build the whole spectrum of the chest, not just being strong in the pecs and being big in the biceps. We also have that tie between the pectoral muscle and the deltoid. And that's how, working the wider grip, you will get that between the pectoral and the deltoid. That along with inclines and declines. But you got to do this in slow. This can't be making big jumps. Pick it out. Don't be afraid to change it. We'll work the whole spectrum of the bar. For beginners, what I do with beginners, I do with 5 sets of 5. So start with a grip depending on the height. If you're a 6-footer, I'll take that in conjunction. If you're 5'6" or 5'7", we're aligned 5'9" or 5'10". I like that. I'll start maybe with this bar type of a bar right about here. So a little bit narrow and I call it a shoulder grip. And you do 5 sets of 5. You'll be in the second set, you move out maybe an inch on each side. The third set, an inch on the side. Just keep moving it out. 3 or 4 different type of handles and move it back in. Then the next week you're going to do the same thing, but you'll change it to go the wider and the narrower. Meaning the body likes to get used to it. We don't want to adapt to adaptation, is what I'm trying to say. So by doing these different hand grips every week, what you're doing, you're building the whole ball, not just the pectorals when you get heavy, or just the triceps. You're building all the whole, especially the type between here and the deltoid. And that's why a lot of us had to get cut or we have bad shoulders because we were weak all through here. And that's the reason we take this one way to hit. Go ahead.
You do your bench workout and then you do the, or that is your bench?
That is your bench. When I say beginners, starting with 5 sets of 5, it's a wonderful program. If you've never lifted before, I'd have you start out with maybe 3 sets of 8. You've got to learn how to do the lift itself. But 5 sets of 5, I still do 5 sets of 5. It's something nice to go back to. You know, I go back to that all the time once in a while. It's something for a change. is we're doing a little bit of the west side. There's a west side barbell thing. I'm still incorporating my old school stuff that made me successful in the first place. And I'm not going to give that up because that worked. And one thing I have learned that is happening with fellas today are just trying to determine too much weight with the shirts. And I did with the strong body basics of it all. You know, I've built some nice American records. I hold a record in the USPS since 1989 at 402 that I did without a shirt and not 80 pounds. That's 50 years old. I made my comeback in 1986. I got out of it, the world was so prevalent, I didn't want to live the rest of this life. I couldn't. They were beating by 300 or 400 pounds in the total. I wasn't going to do drugs. They didn't have to do safety yet. American drug free. So when it came in, that was for me. And I'm glad because we all go down, I'm getting off this a little bit, but we all went down to the Hall of Fame and we were losing 2 or 3 guys a year. And I had a couple of fellas that I knew it was the last time I was going to see them again. And these were guys that put up weights like me in the league. And they're all gone. They're dying every year because of the drug abuse. It does kill. It does kill. I have personal friends of mine that when I see them, I almost cry. And what made me stay drug-free? I don't know. God just blessed me because I'd get around them and say, oh, yeah, man. In 1969, I lived in North PA. As a guest lifter, I had a 1,662-pound total. I was #1 in the world at that time. If I was a guest lifter, I'd get hurt. Next year, I got crushed in an accident. And I was drug-free. I was at that time, how I did it was God, not me, guys. But anyway, the bench press, again, is no matter what your age is and what your build is, you can do well. I trained a policeman on Hemet. That's Dunmire, he's gone now. And for his 40th birthday, I'll never forget, he did a 405 bench press when he was 6'5". Without a shirt. I mean, when he benched, my God, I was up here, you know what I mean? And he did it like with a narrow grip. So like I say, it doesn't matter how tall you are, just get the right stance here, just be right. And that's the key to it, is your setup. And as far as there are so many programs out there, as far as how to start, from beginners, intermediate. And then as we all get older, we all have our ways that we want to do. Sam has come up with a nice program for these guys. I've come up with a program. I take everybody's program, including my own old ones. I try and make it different. And I believe that, and Rudy's, I tested this. Here he is, going to be 67 years old, and he's still making gains. He's doing better than he did 15 years ago. And when he came to me, and I said to him, I said, well, get to 24. He says, yeah, he did you? He couldn't even relate to that. We worked out yesterday with rubber bands. We were signaling with rubber bands, and both of them were using 440 pounds without no shirt, rubber bands. I mean, there's stuff like this that we can do. But I said, he's a testimony to the fact that you can get better. Drug-free, eat good, be a good person, and listen to you. Let's show the photo.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to have Rudy explain to us when he comes up to the bench, how does he prepare himself on that bench before he takes the weight out? What does he think about? Does he place his feet, his head down? Does he press into a firm position?
Well, here's how we can help. Normally, I'm with him now, the training partners. I'll make sure the shirt's down. We pull the shirt down a certain amount. I'm behind him, patting him on the butt. What you want? This is yours, man. This is yours. But you hear all this talk, but mentally he's already focused on it. We'll stand back off the platform, and that judge will say, bars ready. And Rudy will do just like I do, just like you do. You know what I mean? It's something that we do. And then go ahead, just do it. Bars